Hello homeschool moms, I'm Kimberly Farmer and you might have found this video through Sandpiper Creatives where I'm trying to share tips and ideas with other homeschool families because we've been doing it for a long time and I was actually homeschooled for a little bit too. So I want to share with you ideas that we get along the way. This is a video that I want to share with you because it's faster than writing it or trying to explain it another way, about a way that we store some of our reference materials and ideas and charts in a way that is not level specific, grade specific, child specific, all the things that the institution of school kind of has to do, I understand why, to be able to function and get our kids through all the levels they need to get through. But as homeschool families, we don't have to do it that way because we don't have to start from the beginning of a school year, go to the end of the school year, and basically completely shift gears and do it all over again the next year with everything being different and new and set to a different thing. So because of homeschooling, we're able to grow on what we've learned and keep that retention and the flow and the movement of what we've been learning without stopping. Even though I know, of course, we're concerned about our children's grade levels and we're working them through. But that doesn't mean that everything they learned in the past needs to be thrown away or boxed away where we never see it again. So I want to actually talk to you about the reference material. That's the main reason I'm doing this. But I also want to talk to you about the ideas of doing the same concept with science, history, some of those subjects where they did this great, maybe they did a great Civil War project this year. Well, instead of either tossing it or storing it away in a yearly portfolio, why not keep that out in a place you can find it? I really love binders, and be able to refer back to it. So my kids each have their own science binder that they grow every year. So they're gonna look back and my son's gonna see something that he did from first grade, and then there will also be something here from fourth grade. Same thing with my daughter, and she also has one. They both have one for history. She's gonna have something that she did when she was in kindergarten about Egypt, and then she's gonna also find something that she did in fifth grade on inventions, different things. I just think they're so cool. The kids get to go back and look through them, and I'll show them to you here in this video. First, I want to show you the reference book because this is something that's important to think about at the end of a school year and also at the beginning of a school year. Think about the end of a school year before you throw out all your reference materials that you may already have in curriculum you've been using, and think about the beginning of a school year so that you're already thinking, oh, don't put that away. I'm going to make sure I set that aside and put it in a reference binder because child A, B, C, or D may need that one too. So let me show you where I keep a reference binder. Surprise! It's with our dictionaries and our thesaurus and our composition, grammar, reference tool books, that kind of stuff. So this is our family's, mind you, reference binder. So this has stuff from both of I have two children. So this has stuff from both of our children, and there's stuff from their kindergarten growing all the way through my daughter's 7th grade. And what it is, I'm going to show you pictures of it. I have it divided up into 3 different subjects. There's math. By the way, this is just a cool little thing. I'll have to show you that sometime that we created. So there's the math, and I really need to find another way to do this. But in math, there will be, this is some definitions that I pulled from a Math UC course we were working on. And so we can refer back to some conversions and units and things. We have charts that we make up. We're like, okay, this helps us understand division, so let's remember this. We put it on a chart. And we have ways that we draw out. My son worked on this to remember his distance measurements, and so he could kind of visualize it and remember. And this is how he did his weight measurements. And these are cool because since my child did it, as they're writing it, they're remembering it. And when I say to create this chart, he's thinking, okay, I like to think of an elephant weighing tons. So that's what he's going to draw, and that's what he's going to remember, and that's what's going to help him long term. Things like Some of this is a handout from BJU on Roman numerals. This is something, I actually made this one for my kids when they were working on fractions because I thought a flow chart might help them better understand when do they need common denominators and then how do they work the operation. So, this is just a total variety of things that we have just built when we're working on different things we're learning. These are things that as I was teaching my child something she didn't understand in a video, it's like, oh gosh, we just need to save this because when my son comes along, I'm going to be able to, this is actually me regurgitating and using retention more than them. This is when I say, okay, you just study this. I want you to make a chart and I want you to put it in our binder so that you can remember it and refer back to it if you need to it. And you don't have to write it the way they did it. I want you to do it the way it helps you remember it. And so we have like that for math. We have a grammar section. I'm not show you every page we have, but our grammar section, same thing. Something I regurgitated from something we knew. And this is some BJU in the back of our English book. They have tons of great resource charts, if you will. And so I just pull out whichever our most recent year is. So for example, I think my daughter just finished 7th grade, but 6th grade was the last really great reference in the back of the book that we had. So I think these are all 6th grade. So a lot of times they will have the most information, so it'll give us a little more longevity. My son can use it as well. And these are all from BJU, and looks like we're really using BJU's back thing there. And for writing, we do the same thing. They have a lot of great charts and reference materials for different types of writing you're going to do. Talking about notes and outlines and diagrams and all this blah, 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 blah. And I just keep these because I don't know I'm going to keep them for a long time. I like to use the clear sleep protectors for it. And we can add to it and we can change it and grow with it. And my kids remember what's in it because half of it they created themselves. It just works really great. And so I just want to throw that idea out there because it's not curriculum specific, it's not child specific, it's not grade specific. I just think it's a great tool for everybody to get to know and to use. So I hope you get to enjoy using that too, maybe. And my side story is the science and history concept. As I was referring to at the beginning of the video, there are so many things that our kids learn and I hate to think they're not going to see them again. So for example, my daughter's history, I'll show you her history, some of it. She has, let's see, here's some, here's a folder that's falling out. Here's some work that she has from some Mystery of History work that we did back when she was really little. This might have been 1st grade or 2nd grade. And this is about early Egypt. And so we wanted to keep that. And here's your little Egyptian guy, mummy. And so when we have things that help us remember something we've learned, we put them in here. And we put them in order of time so that we can find it. So it's kind of like a history timeline as you flip through it. Sometimes things overlap, but for the most part, we've got things in here pretty good. Here's a timeline of the patriarchs of Israel, and so we get some more recent history over here. We have, oh goodness, let's see, the Monroe Doctrine from Veritas Press, and we have New York, the Erie Canal that we created, and oh boy, that takes me back to a couple years ago. And we have, this year we had the Civil War, and she made a folder thing for it, but I just keep it in it. I just trimmed it so it fit inside a clear sleep protector, and it'll fit in here, and so she can refer back to her. I can't hold this stuff very good. I really should have rethought how I wanted to do this video before I did it, but anyway, that's okay. Sometimes you just have other things you have to do with your day, right? So that's an example of putting different things in your history book. And you get the idea. So science is the same concept. So science, he was studying Nicholas Copernicus, or Copernicus. I've heard it both ways. I don't know what's right. They both sound funny. And studying seasons, we have the the water cycle that he's created, a reminder about the different types of clouds. This was when we saw the solar eclipse. We just decided to make a poster to remind ourselves of when and what happened. We talked about the olfactory system and whatever. So this is not a binder of worksheets or of work that a child has done over a year. This is a binder of chart, poster, reference worthy things that you know that they might want to go back and review and remember what they did. And because they created it, they're going to remember it even better than if they just looked it up in another book. Well, I think that's enough of me talking for this video. So I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.